So I'm just adjusting a little bit our camera because apparently I was not able to edit the settings and have this in a landscape orientation. So ngayon kinakailangan siyang naka-portrait. So there. Apologies for that delay, everyone, but we're now live and we're now gonna discuss yung topic natin for this evening. So welcome to the channel. This is Justin Cappuccino of Sashes&Scripts, and I do hope that you'll be joining us for the rest of the evening for an hour of conversation. Okay, so let's skip this within the space of just an hour para hindi tayo masyadong mag-over sa oras, because I'm sure there are other live streams that you are planning to watch this evening. Okay, so first and foremost, welcome to everyone in the chat. Thank you very much, Ping, for always, being the first to comment, being the first to promote yung live stream natin. Please, for those who are new here, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel as we keep on growing the channel here on YouTube and have more of these intelligent conversations with regards to fashion and pageantry. So, before we start with our main topic, siguro unahin muna natin yung what do you call this? Unahin muna natin yung some of the pageant updates. So, the Miss USA organization is still in a mess after the resignation of Miss Teen USA Uma Sofia and Miss USA Noelia Voigt. However, they are now able to pass on yung duties and responsibilities as well as title of Noelia to Savannah Maray, who is Miss Hawaii USA, who was first runner-up in last year's Miss USA pageant. So Savannah is a Vietnamese, Polish, Filipino-American beauty titleist from Hawaii, who was also a former Mutya ng Pilipinas competitor several years back, and she now assumes the title that Noelia has vacated. Okay, so I do hope na whatever issues that some of the pageant fans have with Savannah resuming the title, the vacated post of Noelia, they do not make it too much of a personal attack on Savannah, because I think there is probably there's probably some things that we are not aware with regards to her reasoning why she accepted the vacated title. And I do hope that moving forward, we keep the criticisms with the Miss USA organization under Layla Rose focused on her and not on Savannah herself, because she is just being professional in assuming the vacated title, because it is said during the past pageants that whoever wins first runner-up will assume the title should the winner not be able to continue her reign for whatever reasons. So I do hope na we separate the personal versus the professional, and just keep the arguments rather on the Miss USA organization and the leadership, and not not bully or not bring more negativity into the conversation with regards to the Miss USA winner and assumed winner. Okay, so okay, Christopher Bernardo is here. Sabi niya, for MUPH, for the MUPH crown, Miss Iloilo daw. Sabi ni Sunset Cookie, hello Sir Jason, what's your opinion on these newbie vloggers who has been milking viewers but apparently not accredited at nagli-leak ng news na di naman pala approved? I think with regards to news, it is always better for pageant fans and for the community to always get news from reliable sources. We cannot police other people's work, because simply that is just too much of a responsibility. And I don't think that having a conversation on trust, and having a conversation on trustworthiness, and integrity and honest reporting is something that we can expect from newbie na mga sites, because probably they're just in their infancy stages and they would not know the intricacies of reporting, of honest reporting, and there are some pages who would rather have a scoop and label it as rumors without even verifying such news or rumors. They will always make it as an excuse na it is just rumored pa lang naman. So I think it's up for the community to be more intelligent with regards to this. I think it's better that we do due diligence as a community. And I think on our end, for people who has been in the industry for so long, we are very much, very much tied up to this protocol of always checking sources. So whether it's, our page or other more established pages like Titas of Pageantry, and other news sources, it is always best that you check whether or not the feasibility of these news reports are actually coming from, trusted sources. Okay? Okay, so moving on dun sa mga pageant updates, Binibining Pilipinas just recently had their reinvent na sustainable fashion show at the Quantum Sky View I believe last Thursday. And they had 10 designers who dressed up, the 40 candidates plus reigning queens and former queens, former Binibining Pilipinas queens like Roberta Tamondong, Gabriel Pasiano, Nicole Borromeo was also there, as well as Chelsea Manalo and Miss Globe 2021, Maureen Montaigne. So 10 designers ranging from the likes of Alan Lacerna, Maki Combe, and accessories designer Christopher Munar, dressed up and dolled up yung mga 40 candidates and the past and present queens. So the sustainability front that these designers were kind of like pushing forward, or pushing into the fashion show, were more on recycling, upcycling, and on thrifting. So these are, an aspect of the sustainable fashion that is more, I believe it belongs more on the subset of circular fashion, that they made, clothing from recycled materials or from scraps of fabric na pinagdugtong-dugtong nila together. I think it was Don Cristobal, or was it no, it wasn't, or maybe it was Adam Balasa who used mga fabrics, repurposed na mga fabrics. And if you see the likes of Tala Jean de la Cruz, yung suot niya, pinagtagpi-tagping mga checker na mga fabrics. These are things that, these designers creatively done to create, sustainable fashion into their collections. So I think they did a quite good job in that sense, because naipakita nila that sustainable fashion can also be, trendy, or rather it can be fashionable and wearable and not look, costumey or gimmicky, or it doesn't look like it was cosplay. Okay, so I think that was, a good effort on the Binibining Pilipinas na pageant, as well as it was organized by Araneta City. I think that was a good, activity for the Binibining Pilipinas to have, so that may continuous na nangyayari doon sa kanilang pageant. Majority of their latest na mga schedules were actually sponsor visits, so it was good for them to do that. You can see yung mga socials ng Binibining Pilipinas on Facebook and Instagram, showcasing the girls and their, mga sponsor visits. So I think it was good to get that out of the way para hindi siya sumagasa doon sa full full na activity nila later on this coming June. And if I'm not mistaken, there's also supposed to be another activity for next week dahil full weekday na yung kanilang mga activities at Binibining Pilipinas, and I am looking forward if there will be any other public na mga events coming on later. Okay, so now there are some more additional people na dumagdag. Thank you very much for joining our live stream today, this evening. Pag-uusapan natin in a little bit yung issue on the piggybacking on Miss Universe Philippines, because I think there is a need for us to discuss that, to show the pros and the cons of what's happening. I think there's a need for us to discuss, the good side and the bad side of what's going on, so that we are fully committed and in the understanding of ano ba yung benefits of this. Sino ang nakikinabang and paano sila nakikinabang. Okay? So let's greet muna yung mga nagko-comment here. Christopher Bernardo says exactly what you were saying, sir. Ito, LG65 UR80 says, "Hello Jason, I'm Arvin, such a fan since vlog days pa po." Maraming salamat, Arvin. If you don't know, I started actually my pageant career as a writer, as a contributor to Sash Factor, and then they gave me the opportunity to write for a blog. It started in 2014 in the old na Sash Factor pa na portal. It's no longer existent. I'm sad that a lot of my very important na mga write-ups were in that blog. But I was able to, recreate a new blog into around 2016, and from then on, it has become more of a video blogging or video vlogging instead of the usual write-ups. So it has been such a long time since I started in the industry. So thank you for the support, Arvin. Kiisa says, "I'm starting to notice Miss Hawaii and Miss Palawan. I hope that they will be in the semis." Yes, especially Miss Palawan, Raven Doctor. She really nails her presentation, and I think that would be very helpful come preliminary night this coming Sunday, tomorrow evening. Nasaan na ba tayo? Beyond the Scrub says, "It's nice to catch you live again, Sir Jessen. Excited na ako sa MUPH Finals. Me as well. I am hoping that there will be a live stream. There was no announcement yet whether or not they will have a live stream for the finals, but definitely there's not going to be a live broadcast on any television channel, but it would rather be a delayed broadcast on, I think that was 28 or 26. It's a Sunday. I think it's on the 26. And it's not even prime time, it's during the daytime, so I'm kind of sad with that. Okay, Dansam JHSM says, "Sana may Santa Cruzan ulit sa Binibining Pilipinas." Sana nga. And ang worry ko lang kasi if they're gonna have a Santa Cruzan for Binibining Pilipinas, medyo it's kinda tricky because mainit siya, but at the same time, umuulan sa tanghali. So I'm just worried if they're gonna have a Santa Cruzan, tapos either sobrang init or biglang umulan. So I'm just hoping that maybe they would schedule it somewhere closer to, I don't know, June, during like late in the afternoon or probably even in the evening para may pailaw yung Santa Cruzan. But I do hope na if they gonna schedule it, wala sanang ulan o wala sanang init na mangyari. Okay? Nat Manipol says, "Oh yeah, I remember noon sa blog mo, di pa nakakangiwi magbasa ng mga tsaa mo doon." Yes, Nat. Those were the days. But maybe, who knows? It's just so happened that because of my schedule and the timetable that I have for doing coverages and doing, video vlogging, recording stuff for future na mga releases, it kind of takes too much time to write, especially someone who, like me, wants to have everything scheduled beforehand so that merong schedule kung kailan ako magsusulat, kailan ako mag-vlog, at kailan ako magre-record. These things are taking up, precious time, especially now that I have like full-time na tawag din na schedule, now that I'm teaching under 3 schools. So medyo hirap akong hirap akong i-manage yung timetable, but I am doing my best na mapagbigyan na lahat ng mga platforms that I am present in may content. The Juan Travel says, the Juan Traveler Tara says, "Hi Sir Jason, you're one of the seasoned pageant vloggers who is credible, entertaining, and knowledgeable. Hope many vlogs with Mark, super galing din niya." Yes, me and Mark, we discussed this right after yung aming discussion last week regarding, MUPH girls that we favor for the MUPH crown. We decided na magkaroon kami ng post pageant analysis a little bit later after the pageant. Siguro maybe we need to just sit down and schedule a day na magkikita kami so that we can, discuss yung ano yung nangyari, ano yung mga nakita namin doon sa finals na pwedeng i-improve, ano yung mga thoughts namin doon sa winners, and etc. Okay, Ryan Alba says, "I really hope that my cousin Christy will win." Christy is one of our top 5 in my list, at least in my list when I had the discussion with Mark. She is still within the striking distance of winning MUPH in my opinion, and I just think it's just how the ball rolls now at this point in time. I think Christy has already banked enough to be noticed by the judges. I am just hoping that the judges that they will select for the prelims and finals are judges that have the eye for beauty. Okay, Alexa Piliehera says, "For now, sino po ang winner niyo sa MUPH?" There are at least 10 names that I can mention with regards to possible winners. But for now, based doon sa live stream namin ni Mark, the 5 girls that I mentioned were Atisa, VVV, Stacy Gabrielle, Alexi Brooks, and of course Christy McCary. Okay, I think we're now ready to discuss yung ating topic for this evening. Okay, guys, hindi ba kayo natataasan dito sa aking what do you call this, sa aking camera? Let me just try to adjust yung tawag ito, yung height, kasi itinaas ko masyado. It looks like nasobrahan ko naman yata yung tawag ito, yung height nung camera ko. So, pagpasensyahan niyo na, I am adjusting so hindi rin masyado, noo ko lang yung nakikita nyo. Ayan. Okay, I think this is much better. Okay. Okay. How about this? Okay. Okie dokie. Pasensya na ha. Woo. Oh, okay. So I think the problem here is because naka vertical position siya. So yung position ng weight of the camera is on the left side. Kaya tumatabingi siyang ganyan. Now I get it. Okay. There. I think that's fine. Much better, I think, in my opinion. Hindi masyado noo ang nakikita sa akin. Okay, so let's start a conversation now on the main topic, because I think when I posted yung what I felt was like 4 titles piggybacking on MUPH, a lot of you had strong opinions with regards to that. A lot of you said, good for the girls. A lot of you said perhaps this is not a nice way of introducing, yung mga titles na ito, because we're not sure if this is a welcome addition on Kun An's part, or is she even aware of it? So we're kind of in the fence, because we agree, we see the pros, we see the good things that can happen with this, but at the same time, we also see the negative aspect of this that can affect not only our standing at Miss Universe, but also our possible standing at Miss Universe later in Mexico. And I am worried simply because, Mexico has never been a kind host or a kind venue to Filipino reps. Not because of the way that they treat our girls, but rather because we never placed whenever the Miss Universe pageant is held in Mexico. And this is, well documented because the furthest that the Filipino delegate can, place forward or place in Miss Universe when it's held in Mexican soil is a special award na position. And it's not even within the top 10 or semi-finalist of the pageant. So we're kind of a little bit more cautious when it comes to anything that can make our situation even more volatile in terms of a placement, because again, we want to have a continuous streak at Miss Universe. Unfortunately, yung longest streak natin and the longest streak in Asia, among Asian countries, actually was broken by Celeste Cortese during her time at Miss Universe. So we don't want to happen that we started building, the placement streak last year when with Michelle. So we're hoping that we can sustain that placement streak for another maybe 10 years or more. So when TMP or the Miss Philippines pageant and Empire announced on the TMP socials that the Miss Supranational Philippines, Miss Charm Philippines, Miss Eco International Philippines, and Miss Cosmo Philippines will be crowned on May 22nd, we thought that this is kind of a weird coincidence because that is the date of the MUPH Finals, which led a lot of people to assume that possibly among the 50 plus candidates of Miss Universe, doon pipiliin yung next na representative natin for Miss Supranational, Charm, Eco, and Cosmo for the years 2024 and 2025. Currently, we still have a Miss Eco 2024 winner with Chantal Elise Schmidt, and a Miss Supranational Philippines with Alethea Ambrosio, and we're kind of worried of what the implications of the announcement would mean on their titles. Now, it would have been better. Our opinion here is that it would have been better if these titles were awarded, to past MUPH and TMP pageant, runners-up, like let's say, CJ Opiaza, who would be perfect for Miss Supranational 2025 simply because she is one of those girls that has a very strong presentation skills, which I believe to be, one of the hallmarks that they're looking for at Miss Supranational. So we're kind of a bit on the fence on what's going on. Now, if everyone is under assumption that the crown that will be given is for the other runners-up of the MUPH pageant, we're a little bit apprehensive simply because there's a lot of possible negative implications on the Miss Universe Philippines, the Miss Supranational Philippines brand with regards to that. And let's now, break down yung mga reservations namin with regards to that. Okay? Kasi medyo hindi nakakadagdag ng konfiansa. Coming from someone who has observed pageantry for the longest time, yung ganitong arrangement. In last year, 2023, the runners-up of Michelle in MUPH were appointed within the same pageant night, the titles of Miss Supranational Philippines and Miss Charm International Philippines. So Krishna Gravides will be going to Miss Charm International later on this year. There's no date yet kung kailan yung Miss Charm International, so we're still waiting for that to be officially announced and confirmed. And then Supranational, we sent Pauline Emelinks. And then within the same year, nagkaroon ng the Miss Philippines pageant. And for a shocking twist, they didn't announce whether Chantal, whether Alethea, and the rest of the queens who won that night will be going to what pageant. And it was only earlier this year, I believe at around January, that they announced yung mga competitions that these girls are going to be sent on. So there's a lot of confusion that happened there because suddenly there is no TMP, there's no the Miss Philippines pageant this year, and they would probably be looking at candidates from MUPH to be sent to the 4 titles that they announced earlier in the TMP and Empire Socials. So gusto nating klaruhin what is going to happen, what are our thoughts and opinions with this kind of arrangement. So let's start siguro first with the pros. Of course, this is a good thing, especially for the MUPH candidates. There are a lot of quality girls, there are a lot of raw but with potential na mga girls as well, and there's a lot of girls that needs more polishing. So in terms of the candidates, I think that's a good thing. There will be more chances for these strong reps to be given opportunities to represent the Philippines and in an international competition. It also makes use and utilizes the strong pool of the Miss Universe Philippines candidates to be sent on international competitions. However, if you're going to ask me whether if they are sent to these international competitions, does that mean that they can no longer join MUPH once again? That is something that is unclear, because if, in my understanding, if you're already given a title, then you probably are not allowed to compete again. So that's my worry about that. But if they would allow past international reps of the Philippines to rejoin again, as long as they haven't won MUPH, then who knows? The only thing that I think would be a hindrance to that of these past winners, past runners up to join MUPH again is the finances. As you all know, I have posted a alleged figure that candidates would probably need to spend at around 1.2 to 1.5 million if they ever want to spend for their Miss Universe Philippines campaign. So medyo malaki-laki siyang pera. It's a quite a huge undertaking to compete again and spend that much money unless you have a dedicated AP who will foot everything. And even so, sometimes the AP's involvement would only be up until the franchise and the franchise fees. They probably are not going to foot daily wardrobe, makeup, and hairstylists that needs to be hired for the daily activities of the pageant. So I think there is a lot of gray areas on the financial aspect and the financial burden that each candidate would have to take on. However, if the candidate can foot the bill and they're willing to spend that much, then I think there is there's no hindrance to them. Kahabang kaya ng bulsa, laban lang. I think that's that's my take on that. If it allows girls the opportunity to represent the country in an international competition, then sino tayo para tigilan sila? I just hope that it is made clear later on kung, for example, a candidate is appointed as Miss Supranational Philippines, bigyan sila ng clear picture whether or not they can accept or reject the title, so that they are able to compete again for the Miss Universe Philippines title. Or if they do accept the title, will they be allowed to compete again for the MUPH title later on? So I think these are things that needs to be clarified first. Now, the second good thing that I also see with this kind of arrangement is that it saves the organization. It saves Empire, financially, because they don't have to, to put up the Miss Philippines pageant this year. So this allows them to save and then go out on the next year's competition. So kung mag-decide sila na by next year agahan nila yung competition, that they will, you know, crown a winner by around maybe January or February, so that they have representatives to the international competitions that happen at around the first or second quarter of the year in 2026, then that gives them ample time to put up a pageant and then set up a, what do you call this, set up a training program for the girls, or an activity for the winners, so that they have visibility, and they also have, you know, training. So it prepares them for their international competitions, especially now that I think Miss Echo is scheduled at around first quarter of the year, and the Miss Supranational pageant is usually within the third quarter of the year. So the months of June, July, August, dun usually ang Mr. and Miss Supranational na competition. And aside from that, they also have the, what's the male competition that they have again? The Mr. something something. Don't worry, I remember that later on. But it also allows, you know, them to prepare for their male competition as well. So it gives them ample time na makapag-ipon, because I believe finances is something that is quite difficult to manage, especially if you have like three national pageants that you are going to have to shell, you know, money every year. Okay, and the only downside that I see to this is that if the org has misaligned yung kanilang budgets and have their financial support placed on, like, naibuhos nila lahat sa MUPH at walang natira doon sa the Miss Philippines and Mr. Worldwide, Mr. Pilipinas Worldwide, Mr. Tama ba? Mr. Worldwide Philippines. I'm not sure kung alin yung nauuna. But imagine if all of the budget is spent already at Miss Universe Philippines, because they have a lot of, you know, a lot of activities and a lot of but the thing kasi is, a lot of their activities shoulder ng mga girls, yung mga glam shots nila eh. But maybe it's because of the very exorbitant prices of the Miss Universe Philippines franchise, kaya nauubos yung kanilang mga budget on that. So if naipondo nila lahat ng finances nila on MUPH, baka siguro naman walang natira doon sa TMP at saka Mr. Worldwide Philippines nila. So I don't know how they are able to manage their, you know, their budgets, but if there is a misalignment with how much budget goes to MUPH versus the two other competitions, maybe that is something that they need to rework on. Dapat kasi annual yung budget, and the annual budget is set around, I don't know, last quarter of the year for the upcoming fiscal year next year, so that they are able to, you know, calculate how much do they need to earn for this year versus how much they need to spend for franchises for next year. Because guys, trust me, mahal ang magkaroon ng maraming franchises. There are franchises na allegedly umaabot ng milyones in Philippine peso, and then there are also franchises na nasa 15k USD yung presyo. So we're not privy to the information with regards to the financial health and well-being ng Empire. But if in case that a lot of, you know, their budgets are misaligned and they have funneled it on the Miss Universe Philippines na pageant and the franchise for MUPH, then they need to review and have controls on how much they are spending for one pageant, so that all three pageants are given equal importance in terms of attention, and then they can budget accordingly. Okay? So, where are we now? Let's go over muna siguro sa mga comment section, kasi medyo marami na yung comment section nyo. Okay, nasa na ba tayo? Saan ba tayo? Sorry about that. Medyo, I think, ang daming comments. Hindi ko napansin kung nasaan na yung tayo nag-end. Si LG65 UR80. Okay. Hello, Jason. Arvin again. Ask niyo po kung kailan po kami pwede mag-ask ng question about the topic, pageant piggybacking in Miss Universe Philippines and Empire PH. Siguro, let's put all your questions at the latter end once na nailagay na natin yung pros and cons ng tawag ito, ng nangyayaring ito, so that mas maganda yung smooth siguro ng ating conversation. Okay? The Juan Traveler Tara says, who would be your El Tocuyo? Oh my God! Ang sakit siguro if any one of the strong and popular girls would not make it into the semis or not even place. Ang sakit siguro nun. So I'm really hoping na hindi mangyari na strong and popular girl yung ma-El Tocuyo this year, na sana hindi naman sana siya mangyari. Okay? Gary says, hello, what time does the prelims start tomorrow? Any live coverage? YouTube, thank you. I am not yet privy to that information. I haven't seen any announcement yet. Maybe tomorrow, mabibigyan tayo ng better information on the preliminary competition. But I think it's safe to assume na hanggat hindi sila nagsasabi ng actual na live stream or whatnot, it might be a closed door event for whoever pays the ticket. So I think that's it. Waikiki says, is it possible kaya isa rin sa mga reasons na nasa top 10 lang sa Miss Universe si MMD ay may piggybacking din na naganap noong 2023? Oh, that's an interesting question. Hindi ko masagot yan, but I don't know. Maybe siguro may ganun na instance na siguro na penalize tayo because hindi tayo sumusunod. But I think it's kind of also, here's kasi the thing. As I was looking at other franchises, other organizations are also doing that, na nagpipiggyback yung ibang mga pageant, ibang pageant into the MUPH na competitions. Now, let's take into consideration, for example, si Miss Diva. Miss Diva last year held the franchise for India. They crowned in their pageant, they crowned both the Miss Universe India and the Miss Supranational India na mga title holders. But look at it now. As of this year, nag-announce ang MU organization that another pageant has taken over the Miss Universe India na franchise, and wala na siya kay Miss Diva. So medyo that's kinda telling, at least from a perspective of someone who follows pageants, na baka pwedeng mangyari sa atin to. But on the other hand, we also have Miss Universe Thailand that has Miss Intercontinental in their pageant system as well. The only difference is they appointed Chatnalyn, who was technically the third runner-up, who was only elevated to first runner-up when Vina and sino pa ba yung isa? Oh my God, when the first and second runner-up did not sign the contract with MUT, with TPN. So, because of that, hindi masyado siguro nakaapekto yung pagkakaroon ng secondary na title ng MUPH ng Miss Universe Thailand, because the announcement that Chatnalyn will be going to compete at Miss Intercontinental was made like months after nakoronahan si Antonia. So probably because there was a full attention on Antonia, there wasn't much of a hurt feelings on the MUO's part, because at least they had Antonia, have her moment at the spotlight. So lahat ng attention na kay Antonia after she was crowned. And it was only months after when they appointed, Chatnalin, that nabigyan siya ng spotlight na siya magko-compete for Miss Intercontinental. So, I don't know. If you look at those pageant systems, kayo nang bahalang tumimpla kung nakasama ba o hindi yung pagkakaroon ng secondary title or secondary, tertiary, and somewhere lower down the line na mga titles na naka-associate sa MU na brand on other international competitions. Okay? Okay, Alfred Alvarez is asking, hi Mama Jess, do you watch other pageant vloggers such as Tita Lavinia and Auntie Adam? Sino po fave vlogger ninyo? Okay, so on the local, of course, I watch yung mga content ni na Tita, ni na Adam, but I also watch The Sovereign. I think for me, The Sovereign is yung pinaka-succinct na mag-critique among the pageant vloggers out there. Of course, I also watch yung content ni Danny Walker. Back then, when regular na nagpo-post si Nia Sanchez ng content on pageantry, I watch her what do you call this? I watch her channel regularly. However, ngayon kasi hindi na masyado ma-post si Nia. But what I like about Nia is that her experience at Miss Universe and of course at Miss USA is very pertinent whenever she talks about pageantry. Kasi napagdaanan niya both systems. She knows both systems, and it's just that nowadays with MUO being under a different owner, maybe hindi na ganun ka-in touch yung points of view ni Nia with the current organization. So, I don't know, maybe somewhere down the line, magkaroon ulit ng isang pageant girl who has the charisma and the intelligence that Nia has and the emotional capacity to handle difficult na mga conversations like Nia. Baka siya yung susunod kong pagtuunan ng pansin. I think that when it comes to content, there's a lot of pageant vloggers that I do look up to. Luis Porteles is one of those, and several others. Sino po ba? There's this South African, I believe, na content creator na it was just siguro parang I just found out about him. He's very good in his analysis, but after yung lumabas yung link na video nung conversation na nakunan in Raul in Mexico, nagsara na siya ng YouTube channel niya. I can't remember because this happened maybe around March or was it February of this year na nagsara siya ng kanyang YouTube account. So, yun. But for now, I do watch regularly content ni Danny Walker because I am kind of invested with what's going on with Miss USA and how the organization is going to navigate through this. I think naawa lang ako kay Savannah because whether she likes it or not, isa siya doon sa mapagbubuntunan ng sama ng loob ng mga fans because she accepted the Miss USA na title after Noelia resigned. Okay, saan na ba tayo? Ang Zach Terbeck, let's learn how to use smaller caps kasi masakit sa mata basahin yung yung full wall of text mo na panay all caps, okay? But let's try, I'm gonna try to read it na lang. Sabi ni Zach Terbeck, panahon na maiba naman at hindi laging prototype, stereotype, and recycled beauty ang laging pinapadala natin sa Miss U. We have to strive at least by envisioning the system of Philippine pageantry. Kung sa technology pa ito, dapat very innovative. do away with our comfort zones so we can feel the difference and learn to be strategically productive from within it. I think Miss Alexa Brooks of Iloilo will be a great representative to the Miss Universe 2024 pageant because she possessed the totality of beautiful woman. Kailan pa tayo ulit magkakaroon ng tulad ni Alexi? She is either ngayon na siya for MUPH crown or nothing. Non-negotiable to the other crowns. Okay, that's kind of a little bit too heavy to process simply because we cannot dictate kung maging runner-up siya, kung ano yung ibigay sa kanya na title, if ever. I do hope that whoever wins, whether it's Alexi, whether it's VVV or Chris or Christy, they are the ones who is right for the title. And we are rooting for the girls, to do their best. Simply because this is a competition where ang daming pwedeng mangyari. Okay? Nasser Mohammed is here. He is waving. Hello. YKK, sabi niya, miss ko na si The Sovereign sa mga commentary sa YouTube. Halos 1 year na rin. Lalo na ngayon, may issue sa Miss USA. Not sure lang kung may nagpo-post siya regularly sa podcast. I'm kinda disappointed na hindi na siya ganun kadalas mag-post ng content si The Sovereign. I think she's one of those, even if I don't necessarily agree with her on a regular basis, there are some points kung minsan I am not aware of with regards to yung social na nangyayari sa US, and she is able to say something about that. Maybe because I come from a conservative na country, kaya may mga ilang punto siya na hindi ko masakyan, but I respect her opinion because she makes it easy for me to understand her point of view. I think that is that is one of the reasons why she is a very well respected na content creator in the pageantry sphere. I also love the fact that she does not seem to filter what she thinks with the girls. She will call out a terrible na performance or presentation, and I think that is crucial to for the girls to improve, because if they don't get this kind of feedback at nagre-rely lang sila sa mga yes ma'am, yes sir na mga mga commentaries, then nobody's going to improve. Walang growth or progress, or walang nag-evolve doon sa kanilang mga ginagawa, and they stay stagnant with where they are. So I think Sovereign is able to to navigate that quite well. Yes, Christoph, si the pageant nerd, tama. He is one of those. I just recently learned about his channel. And he does give very intelligent mga conversations in his YouTube channel. So I do hope that once nakapagpahinga siya, he would come back, because I think there is a need for more intelligent vloggers occupying the YouTube space. Yes, Ramil Rapil, it's raining here. If you can actually hear, dahil nakabukas ang bintana ko. It's so hot here in the Philippines right now, even at night. So I keep my my windows open as wide as possible for the air to circulate. Sabi ni Ishtin, maulan pala, Jan Sir Jason, present from Tasmania, Australia. Ako, Ishtin, this is like, I am waiting for this to happen, na umulan in the afternoon, because the temperature here is still at around the 38 to like 43 na heat index. FYI, if the heat index is between like 43 to like 52 or something, that is considered danger zone. So keep yourself indoors, be hydrated as much as possible. Kasi it can, cause heat stroke. So I am, I am loving that it's raining. it's good for me because it has been so hot in the past month. This is welcome for me kasi the air is circulating, lumalamig ang hangin and all. Okay, John Vincent, may 4 runners-up po daw ibibigay sa MUPH coronation. So 5 crowns plus 4 runners-up. 9 winners will be announced sa MUPH. I am not sure with that, John Vincent. I am, hoping na they would give a clear na tawag ito, na confirmation and announcement on that. Kasi pwede din naman na they get 4 runners-up for MUPH. And those runner-ups are going to be awarded the Supra, the Eco, and the Charm and Cosmo titles. So, I don't know. Yeah, Gary, it's raining. It's really heavy rainfall. So, I think mas dinig siya ngayon because my window is facing directly the roof of our neighbor. So that's why you hear it, okay? Give me a second. Let me just adjust yung yung bintana, yung my window para ma-lessen yung sound, yung noise, okay? Okay. So, ayan, medyo mas tumahimik ng konti. But guys, I still didn't close the window like fully closed because I kind of like the cool air coming in. Art Laurent, wala friend. Hello. Kumusta, Art? Okay, wait lang. Okay, yes, gumagalaw pa yung ating comment section. So, hola, Art, sana tawag ito, makauwi ka for the 60th na anniversary ng Binibining Pilipinas because the plans that I've been hearing is so very bongga. Okay? Joaquin 0027 says, what's your opinion on Atisa not being suitable for the MUPH crown this year? Can we have your take on this, Joaquin? I already mentioned extensively yung thoughts namin dyan with my live stream with Mark Soberjahani. So I suggest you go over that live stream na lang later on. Okay, Elm Street, PNG says, much okay today, sir, than your last vlog with the Indian guy, noisy background in the mall. Well, that's Mark, and he's one of the more intelligent na mga conversationalists that I have when it comes to pageantry. So, we tend kasi to do our live stream on a public place. Kasi kung minsan kapag we do the live stream sa sa respective na mga houses namin, napuputol yung internet and nagkakaroon ng lag sa conversation. So I'm gonna try to find a better mic for him later on para hindi masyado hindi masyado napipick up ng mic yung outside noise. Gary says, apparently the opening dance is I'm a Filipina by Marina Summers. That's good. If you're not familiar with I'm a Filipina, it is actually a repurposed song from Vice Ganda's no, it's not Vice Ganda's. It's May Entrata's Ama Kabugera, which I think ginamit ng Binibining Pilipinas in their pageant last 2022. So there. Ana Farasha says, happy to hear it's raining in the Philippines. God, yes, please. That's why, lahat ng bitana ko dito sa bahay nakabukas because I am hoping na it would rain this afternoon. Thankfully, nangyari siya ngayong gabi kasi mas malamig ang tulog ng lahat ngayong gabi. Okay, Waikiki says, parang pageant encyclopedia or atlas. Kapag napapanood ko si The Pageant Nerd, feel ako na si VVD ang sa ECO dahil sa heritage conservation advocacy niya, lalo na ang ginawang theme ang heritage sa NTE. Miss Philippines Earth? I'm kinda confused. Dahil ang MPE is a different pageant system. Okay, John Vincent, top 5 reveal. Nabanggit ko na siya in the previous na live stream with Mark. I've mentioned Alexi, Atisa, VVV, Stacy, and Christy McGarry. Okay. Red Rose, sir, anong pasabog ni BBP ng 60th edition? Abangan nyo na lang. Hindi pa ako pwedeng magsalita kasi ang pwede ko lang siguro mabanggit ngayon na may basbas ako is that abangan nyo yung mga glam shots ng mga binibini this year because they're going like silver screen goddess there. Okay, so abangan nyo yan. I am hoping na baka this coming week mag-ilabas na yung mga glam shots ng mga girls or maybe next week. I think baka around next week. Or no, next week, sorry. Gary says, hopefully the production team with the use Lola Amor hit raining in Manila on the swimsuit round. They will be performing live. Okay, Red Rose, excited ako Sir Jess sa BBP 60th edition. Same on our end. Okay, Ishtin says, I am with VVV. She has the full package. I kind of agree as well. Hindi polarizing yung look niya. Hindi siya yung tipong, hindi siya maganda kahit saan. Siya yung tipong whether you look at her from the perspective of the Mexicans, perspective of the Americans, the Caucasians, the Asians, and the Africans, she kinda is on the same page na maganda siya across all continents. Hindi tulad ng ibang mga candidates na there are some candidates kasi na looks good when you're asking Asians based on their definition of beauty, but when it comes to the Americans or let's say to other white na Caucasian people or other people with people of color, they might not be the kind of girl that they think is beautiful. So ano lang yan, I think VVV has that look that is universal in appeal. So there. Okay, nasaan na tayo? Let's go now doon sa negative side ng piggybacking na issue, because I think in order for us to have an intelligent conversation, we not only focus on the good but also on the negative aspect of what's happening of this instance. Kasi I think that in as much as there is good that can happen with the issue, there are also a lot of negative things na pwedeng mangyari or maging consequence ng piggybacking ng 4 titles na ito doon sa MUPH ng mga candidates. So the first and foremost is when there are 4 titles that are piggybacking on the MUPH brand, it weakens the MU brand here in the country, here in the Philippines. Because when lesser known or even unknown na mga pageant systems are attached to the MUPH brand, it creates a perception that the main brand will associate itself with just whoever. It will create that kind of negative na perception na kung sino-sino na lang ang uma-attach doon sa MUPH na brand. And if you want to position your brand and elevate it and position it in a much higher, much higher aspirational na level, hindi pwedeng yung brand mo nakadikit na lang sa mga pageants na bagong sulpot or kakagawa pa lang. Pageants that have not yet built its own following and is piggybacking on the fame of the MUPH brand. So that kind of association is something that I think the Miss Universe Philippines doesn't need or should not want to be associated with. Kundi lang Kasi, when that happens, it's actually the MUPH brand that suffers. And it's the other 4 titles that makes huge gains on the consumer mind share. When in smaller pageants are aligned to a stronger brand, they benefit from that brand's quality customer impression. So they sit into yung what do you call this? Into the positive associations on the MUPH brand. Now, some of you might ask, but sir, hindi ba ganyan ang ginagawa ng Miss Grand, ng Intercon, ng the Miss Globe sa Binibining Pilipinas, when Binibining Pilipinas used to have the MUPH na franchise? I think we are forgetting here that MUPH is different from Binibining Pilipinas, and that these smaller na mga these other international pageant systems, they are piggybacking not on the MUPH brand but on the Binibining Pilipinas brand. That is the difference. And the reason why it feels like the MUPH is suffering, it's because it does not have the associations of the Binibining Pilipinas brand, where it is the local pageants brand that has the premium, that has the strong positive associations with the pageant fandom or the pageant community. With MUPH, the one that actually suffers is not just the MUPH, but the mother Miss Universe brand. So that is what makes this scenario different from Binibining Pilipinas. With Binibining Pilipinas, the BPCI is a bit more liberal to share, the positive associations of the Binibining Pilipinas brand with the Miss Globe, with the Miss Intercon, with the Miss Grand, with the Miss Supranational titles before. And nakinabang ang Supra, nakinabang ang MGI, nakinabang yung mga smaller na mga international pageants because of the positive associations of the BPCI brand. And I think that is the strength of the BPCI brand. However, with MUPH, nakadepende ang MUPH na prestige on the MU na prestige. The empire is essentially borrowing the good, or rather is loaning the goodwill of the MU brand to the local na MUPH na brand. So yung associations ng MUPH is reliant on the positive associations of the Miss Universe brand. Now, if ang MUPH na brand is associated with kung si ano-ano na lang ng mga titles na walang kinalaman sa MU, ang nagsasuffer nito is yung local brand and yung international brand dito sa Pilipinas. So that is that is one of the biggest na negative thing that can happen to the MUPH brand here in the Philippines and the MU brand here in the Philippines. So if the associations are purely negative, then ibig sabihin nito magsasuffer yung local brand dahil yung pagtingin ng mga tao, imbes na luxury yung item, magmumukha siyang tiyangge. So ganun yung associations. It's not like as if brands like, let's say, Loro Piana, Brunello Cucinelli, Bottega Veneta would associate with brands like, let's say, H&M or Zara. So yun yung hindi naiintindihan ng mga fans na pwedeng mangyari, na there is a certain level of expectations on the MU brand that kinakailangan i-fulfill ng mga local partners. So kapag nagpipiggyback yung ibang mga international pageants sa brand name ng MU, they gain something, yes, but the MU loses prestige because of that. Now, There's another, the second na negative side to this is that there are a lot of questions that's popping out, like what would happen to Alethea Ambrosio and Chantal Elise, because they were just named Miss Supranational Philippines and Miss Eco Philippines earlier this year, during I think around the month of January, February. What will happen to them? Mai-enjoy pa ba nila yung reign nila as queens? Or right after May 22nd, tapos na ang kontrata nila with the local organization? What would happen to their reign? Kasi yung reign nila nung bago silang mai-announce as as the Supra Queen and the Eco International Philippines na title holder, they were in a limbo. Ngayon, ano nga yung mangyayari doon sa mga reigns nila? It feels like hindi ma-enjoy ng mga girls yung reigns nila because it was incomplete. So, kung walang the Miss Philippines na pageant, how are they going to pass on their crowns? And it feels like it is again a mixing of the MUPH and the TMP na brand in just one roof that makes this more messier than usual. So, kinda kinakailangan mabigyan yon ng clarification, because there is a need for people to understand what's really going on and how are these reigns carried out. Because kung ganun din lang pala, then wag na lang sasali yung mga girls sa TNP dahil hindi naman secured yung kanilang reign na they can reign for a full year, dahil they are essentially being placed in a limbo dahil hindi pa i-announce kung saan silang pageant mapupunta at ano yung mga titles na panghahawakan nila. Okay? Then, the third negative side to this is that this is something that is going to be controversial because of this mess. It will illustrate how inorganized and inadept yung organization in setting up both the MUPH and the TMP na mga pageants. They have roughly 5 months since the start of the appointments, the start of the announcements of the APs dun sa mga candidates nila for MUPH. And from that time on, we would have assumed that naayos na nila, naplansya na nila yung dates, yung venues, yung broadcast partners, so that lahat ng mga activities and lahat ng mga dates on the prelims and finals are all well planned, well executed. And it just so happened that it doesn't look like it's like that. Doon sa 5 months na yon, ano yung ginawa ng organization? Kasi it seems like the optics is that they were so busy chasing sponsors, whether it's corporate sponsors or local government units to sponsor their pageant, that they forgot that may kinakailangan tayong ayusin na finals. And yung finals na yan, kinakailangan broadcasted siya. Or if it's not broadcasted, then at least it is done on a weekend rather, so that there are more people who can enjoy the entertainment. Because if it is on a weekday, sinong pupunta? Paano kung biglang umulan? Sino yung maghahangad na pumunta sa MOA, maputikan, maulanan, to watch their pageant. Plus, if the pageant starts at 8, of course, there is no pageant na typically nag-i-start talaga ng 8. So, isipin mo mga 8:30, 9 o'clock, kung minsan aabot pa yun ng mga 9:30 bago mag-start. And this is kinda worrying, because if the pageant lasts for 2 hours, 3 hours, then if it starts at, let's say, 9 o'clock, it ends at 12 o'clock, uuwi pa yung mga tao sa kanilang mga bahay-bahay, gigising ng alas 5, alas 4, or even as early as 3 a.m. So that they can prepare for the next work day. So this is kind of like showing that there is poor planning involved with the Miss Universe Philippines finals. Plus, For the second straight year, dumaan dito yung winner, yung Miss Universe winner, pero hindi nila na-i-invite to crown the next MUPH. Shanice is currently doing her European tour. Nasa Greece siya, I believe, for the next 5 days. And this would have been a great opportunity na nandito na rin siya, dumaan na rin siya dito, might as well stay for the finals. So, again, this is for whatever reason looks, optics wise, it looks very messy and very inorganized yung mga nangyayari, and lahat na lang ng mga events ng mga corporate or LGU na mga sponsors, parating may pasarela na challenge, parating may rampa, to the point na hindi kaya nila naisip na baka naman napapagod na yung mga girls na ganito na at ganito na lang yung ginagawa, and parati na lang na may pa-voting, so a lot of the girls are spending even more on the voting process. So I think, having a weekday finals, having no broadcast partner that would air your pageant live, because they won't sacrifice, their scheduled programs for your, pageant, and then having your pageant aired at a delayed telecast na hindi pa prime time na telecast, but daytime na telecast on a Sunday, kinda makes you think that parang hindi masyadong napag-isipan, napagplanuhan itong pageant na to. And source told me that lumapit ang mga pamunuan ng MUPH allegedly sa Araneta to have their finals aired on a weekend ng May. But hindi sila napagbigyan dahil book na ang Araneta for the entire month from March up until June in terms of yung kanilang schedule. You have to remember, Araneta Coliseum is partnered with the UAAP ng mga tipong bandang January pa lang nagkapirmahan na ng kontrata, nakapag-down payment na yung mga gagamit ng ng Coliseum for those dates, those weekends. So kasama pa dito na, like for example, this weekend, itong 18 and 19, may concert ang SB19 sa Araneta Coliseum, and there are even other acts like Beanie who will be having their fan meet and greet, or even like a mini concert on the month of July. So kinda ano na siya kinda labo-labo na yung schedule. So hindi siya mapagbibigyan na bibigyan namin kayo ng weekend, dahil it would mean naman that they would sacrifice yung mga nakauna nang nakapagpirma ng kontrata than them. So this is where things are really messed up. Kung naplano nila ng maayos ito earlier this year, then sana walang problema na nakapag-weekend sila ng kanilang finals. This is kind of poor planning on their part, and they only have themselves to blame for not having a weekend na finals. Okay, so I think overall, there is more negatives to this rather than positives. But if the MUPH empire, the TNP na mga pageant systems and orgs are willing, to sacrifice yung willing to gamble rather on these, smaller pageants, lesser known, lesser popular na mga pageants, piggybacking and the MUPH, then it's up to them. Kargada de konsensya na lang nila yon, dahil ultimately din naman, as fans, the least that we can do is support them. And if they don't listen dun sa mga thoughts and opinions natin about, how they are running the pageant, wala rin lang din naman tayong magagawa. The least that they can do is listen, reassess, and continue with whatever they planned, or pivot based on feedback. Okay? So let's go over naman doon sa mga comment sections. I now encourage you to ask your questions, dahil this is the latter part of the live stream, at pag-uusapan na natin lahat ng mga gusto nyong itanong Dahil nasabi ko na lahat yung gusto kong sabihin. Okay? Nasa na ba tayo? I think I have to slide a little bit back earlier dun sa mga comments ninyo. Okay? Jay Santos says, what are the chances of Christy McGarry getting the crown? Ang lakas ng support niya, especially from Pia, nag-post about McGarry. She has equal chances like everybody else in the competition. Dansam SNJHSM says, same prod team po ba with BBP last year? From what I heard, I think so. Binibining Pilipinas is aligned with ABS in the end, and si Mamo Jomel is from, if I'm not mistaken, Showtime or ASAP. So, we are expecting higher, better, bigger with Binibining Pilipinas this year. YKK says, I also love VVV. I hope na mag-improve ang pasarela niya. At na-miss ko na rin yung kinagawian noon na mag-name kung sino ang walk ng Philippine rep na lalaban sa Miss Universe. I think that that aspect ng pasarela pwede pang i-improve prior to Mexico. So, pwede naman na since passable rather. Since passable yung presentation na skills ni VVV, I think yan yung kinakailangan na i-polish na lang later on if in case na siya ang manalo. Sabi ni Waikiki, is it better po ba na sa The Miss Philippines na lang ang winner na pipiliin ng ang MUPH, then yung mga runner-up is i-assign sa mga minor pageants para hindi maapektuhan ang MUPH na brand? I think that would be a better solution na parang BBP system na the main title is or rather the main organization is the Miss Philippines, and then they have the Miss Philippines Universe, the Miss Philippines Supranational, and the Miss something Philippines or Cosmo Philippines ang gawin nilang mga titles that i-award nila. That way, technically, the pageant that they are putting up is the Miss Philippines at hindi rin naman sila ma-technical. However, again, I am worried na if they take this route, baka naman magaya sila sa Miss Diva. Na Miss Diva yung pangalan ng competition, but they awarded Miss Universe India and Miss Supranational India in the same system. So again, it is difficult to navigate this because there are precedents na ang downfall, ang kinalabasan downfall ng organization. So, it's difficult, especially with Kun An saying na ang gusto niya walang other titles na involved. Kung Miss Universe Philippines lang, Miss Universe Philippines lang. Okay? Sabi ni Ishtin, do you think, Sir Jason, na magpo-push yung coronation this month or may possibility ba ito na mamove? Just thinking, Ishtin, I think it will push through. Kasi una sa lahat, bayad na yata sila sa MOA. So, hindi pwedeng hindi matuloy yung pageant. And even if mag-postpone sila, they would have to pay a hefty penalty if they move their finals. Pangalawa is, kahit na mag-move sila ng finals, kung walang available na date, then anong mangyayari sa kanila? Kawawa din yung mga girls na mag-e-extend na naman ng stay dito sa Pilipinas, especially yung mga foreign na mga girls. And I don't think na on its pageant, gagastos ang MUPH for the stay ng mga foreign-based na mga candidates nila dito sa Pilipinas. So, I think kargado na ng mga candidates yon personally if they stay longer here in the Philippines. Okay? Huy Vule says from Vietnam, hello, MC, Philippines, very good, number 1. Miss Cosmo Philippines, very good. Okay. Thank you. Dansam SNJHSM. May concert ang SB19 this week. Yes. I saw it in the pamphlets na nasa Araneta City na they have a concert 18 and 19. So this evening and next evening, Sunday. Okay, Joaquin 0027 says the caveat of linking other crowns to MUPH is the risk of not getting MU crown for PH again this year. MUPH should be a standalone pageant with no association to other crowns. I agree. I think that is the safest way to go about this because you are not technically breaking or skirting around the pronouncement that if MUPH lang ang gusto ni Kun-an, MUPH lang ang title na dapat i-award for the local pageant. Okay, Dansum SNJHSM says, hopefully Bini and SB will be on the finals. On the finals ng Bini, I think that could be a possibility. However, for Miss Universe Philippines, I think Marina Summers is already confirmed there. Win Metawin is also confirmed to be there. They are paying handsomely, I believe, for Jeannie Mai, Arboni Gabriel, and Alden Richards for hosting the pageant. Okay, Hui Vule says, thank you, sorry, my thank you, sorry, my I love you. Phil, it's number one. Philippines, sorry, it's very confusing. Very good. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. Thank you. See you again. I love you. Feeling very much. Okay. Renee Tabada Jr. says, si Atisa may pasabog ba sa prelims at finals? I am expecting that. Atisa is technically one of the most, if not the most proficient on the presentation skills. So we're hoping to see what she's, hiding behind, her sleeves. Jay Santos says, I don't get the reason that Atisa or other girls should win based on how they're going to fit or fare for Miss Universe. Isn't the competition MUP based on who will perform best that night? I kind of agree with that. However, with Philippine fans, I think we have already been conditioned to look beyond just the finals night and look at the resume, look at what the girl is being able to put on the table in terms of her campaign, in terms of her reign as Miss Universe Philippines, and her potential as a Miss Universe winner. Okay? Sabi ni Don Don, pansin ko iba-iba lakad ni Atisa. I don't know. May tinatago siya. Baka may tinatago nga siyang pasabog. Ishtin says, I agree with you, Sir Jason, na MUPH has very poor planning. Sana mag-improve ito at sana di sila magpapageant ng sobrang haba. Girls are overly utilized. Girls' budgets are drained. I agree. I think 3 months is already too long of a pageant unless you're Binibining Pilipinas, who literally spends on the glam shots, the head shots, the portraits, whether it's swimsuit, whether it's the swimsuit and evening gown portraits that they post on social media. So on that end, at least walang masyadong ginagastos sa mga girls. Their budget is not as exorbitant as those of the girls in Miss Universe Philippines. I have heard that in Binibining Pilipinas, your budget should be around 700,000 to almost $1 million, while with Miss Universe Philippines, you should at least budget for yourself 1.2 million to 1.5. So I am still researching and looking over sources with regards to those numbers. But if these numbers are true, then alam natin na mas economical for pageant girls to join Binibining Pilipinas because they don't have to spend as much. Okay, more comments are coming in. Noel Duarez is asking, ano po masasabi mo kay Alexi? May change ba sa Miss Universe? Again, all of the conversation regarding Alexi, Christy, Atisa, Stacy and the rest of the MUPH girls have already been discussed in a previous live stream with Mark Sobrajahani. I do hope that you take your time to go over and listen to that live stream instead, dahil I think it's just being redundant kung uulitin ko yung mga sinabi ko on that live stream in this live stream. Okay? Kasi medyo mahaba na yung usapan natin ngayon. Ishtin says, I'm so sad to see girls na di makakapasok sa semis given na gumastos sila at napagod sila masyado. Chris 18 says, what about Bulacan? I think she's underrated. I kind of agree. Waikiki says, is it good na i-downturn ang mga ibang franchise under Empire? It reminded me ng quote na sang markets are two masters. Meron na isa na nagsa-suffer at isa na of course is serving two masters. I think that the best thing that they can do is what they did last year, separate ang MUPH with the TMP, especially mga TMP ng mga franchises. So under TMP, pwede na samahin yung Cosmo, ang Supra, Eco International, Cosmo International, Miss Asia Pacific International, and a slew other, new titles under them. Tricia Legacion is asking, hello Sir Jason, we briefly talked ng BBB fashion show the other day while waiting for Adam to finish interview with Gabby. Nice to see you there, Tricia. I just hope na we had coffee after that. Medyo chaotic kasi yung situation after the event. Plus hindi rin ako nagtagal because I had something to do on that day as well. Terrific says, may mga provincial directors ang mga candidates ng MUP. Malamang sila ang gumagastos sa mga pambato nila. Yes, but until what capacity? Hindi everyday sagot nila lahat ng lahat ng mga gastos ng mga candidates. There is, a certain level of support that they can give, but not 100% sila lahat ang gagastos. Okay? At certain point, gagastos pa din yung mga girls. Next is Don. May something talaga kay Atisa may di ko ma-explain dahil iba hair look niya at aura. I don't know. I haven't seen the girls in their socials lately this past couple of days, so maybe I need to go over their socials once again. Dansom SNJHSM. With regards to ALV pageant circle, the last thing that I've heard was last April yung deadline for submissions ng mga applicants for Miss World Philippines. I have not heard any updates yet kung meron ng kung meron na bang screening dates or kung meron ng scheduled date for the pageant to happen. Most likely baka patapusin nila ang MUPH at Binibining Pilipinas before they do their screenings. Okay, last two comments na to. Ramil Repil said, Sir Jason, baka kasi nag-flop ang The Miss Philippines ng Empire in its launch, kaya they settled it na lang uli to crown other girls after MUPH crowning. I am having that thought as well, na hindi kinagat ng mga sponsors ang The Miss Philippines na pageant. So, it might be, the reasons why they are not staging TNP this year is probably because it's a financial loss. So that is an assumption. That is an assumption na pwedeng ito nga yung nangyayari na hindi natin nalalaman behind the scenes. Okay? Now, last comment here from Ishtin. Sir Jason, may I know your conclusion on this live stream? Okay. Overall, I think that the piggybacking of these 4 titles on MUPH Coronation Night, even if it's done after the crowning of the MUPH, is done in poor taste. It makes the Empire and the and the Miss Philippines pageant look messy, and it will create this perception and the association that hindi naman ganun ka-importante ang mga titles na to, kaya hanggang dun na lang yung relegation sa kanila. So I do hope that moving forward, the organization Empire would really separate these two pageants, and that there is no crossing over that is going to happen between these two, because it will always look as if the secondary titles are only there to have importance only when they are associated with the MUPH brand. And if this keeps on going, who knows, maybe in the next several years, mapipinalize tayo ng MUO for that. And with the new owner, hindi ako magtataka na pwedeng hindi niya tayo pasok sa semi, sa Miss Universe, pwedeng ilipat niya sa ibang organization yung franchise, simply because she is not getting what is promised to her, what she wants on the national level. And for a country that is considered a pageant country, there should be a separation between the Miss Universe brand with other international na mga franchises. We have to remember that MUPH is not like Binibining Pilipinas, where Binibining Pilipinas is the main entity here, and the titles that they give to their winners are subsidiary titles that stems up from the mother brand. With MUPH, the mother brand is actually Miss Universe, and having MUPH attached to new and unpopular, unknown, lesser known na mga pageant is going to hurt the Miss Universe brand, the international na brand, more than it will hurt the MUPH na brand. So I do hope that moving forward in the future, we will see TMP and MUPH as separate entities, and that there is no crossing over that will happen in these two supposed to be independent entities from each other. Okay? Final na mga taong ito, final na mga thoughts. Sorry guys, nasa 1 hour and 30 plus minutes na tayo. Final thoughts here, Jay Santo, yung question mo, please watch yung live stream namin ni Mark Sobrajahani about our favorites for the Miss Universe Philippines title. Yun na lang yung tignan yung live stream dahil masyado nang mahaba yung ating conversation ngayon, and I know there are some of you that are looking forward to other live streams that's happening again as well tonight. Okay, so thank you very much for everyone who has been here na nagsumubaybay. I do hope that before you leave, please leave a like dun sa ating live stream, and subscribe for the new people who are watching us on our channel. I do hope na makita-kita again tayo soon, and I will try to have and schedule a post Miss Universe PH na coronation live stream with Mark somewhere next week, and I do hope na subaybayan niyo yung announcement natin on that. Okay, so thank you very much for everyone who watched in our live stream this evening. Do take care, have a great weekend, and see you again soon. Bye everyone. Oops.